1140 The Fan. Talkin Money.
And we're back to Talkin Money. And here's Jeff Tarbell.
Yeah, I rode my bike in today.
Vroom, vroom.
That was not me, but a little bit of a wind out there today, too.
Yes, slightly breezy.
All of a sudden, when you're in the right lane and then you look up and you're in the left lane, that was a good gust. How you doing? This is Talkin Money. Jeff Tarbell, John Fodorero, 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140, or you can text us at 441140. Our quiz question, and we should maybe have been a little bit more explicit, because we were looking for, I guess if you know soccer, maybe you know that I didn't know that these are the countries that are playing right now in this tournament. So we got like the San Jose Seattle Sounders and San Jose Earthquake and Manchester United, and actually the answer was who?
La Roja.
La Roja,
which is Spain's team.
Yeah, so Spain's team is going to, if they very, very good when it comes to the big show, 91.4% win percentage. So John got that right. We'll send him some four-pack of tickets to the River Cats. Thank you very much for everybody who chimed in on that one. That leaves a couple phone lines open if you want to jump in at 339-1140. Speaking of Spain, and speaking of government, and speaking of bailouts, and speaking of money and not enough money and all the other things, which is a lot of these articles are. Oh, by the way, Chris found out during the break there that Prop 29, which will lead us into our next quiz question, Prop 29, which was the cigarette tax, is undecided now. They're down to literally the hanging chads, right? They're looking at they're down to counting the absentee vote. So that's a close. So if you don't think your vote matters on that one, we're going to be down to the last 63,000 left to count, you mean?
That's what Prop 9 for no is.
Oh, for no. Okay, gotcha. So they're up by 63,000 votes. So we'll see how that shakes out. Speaking of Spain, I pulled out. Did you see that? By the way, did you see that TV thing where the I don't know if it was the city council or it was just a TV interview in Spain where that guy started going off and slapping that lady and spilling his water on people, and they were going. Did anybody else catch that? That was crazy.
YouTube or live
TV?
TV?
No, this was on TV. It was during a live television show in Athens on Thursday. Two members of the parliament came to blows, and of course it wasn't a fair fight. The guy who was being criticized in the discussion was a former military guy, and he started wailing on this lady who was in parliament. And so he spilled his water on one lady and started wailing on somebody else. So maybe that's what we need in California. We need a good old-fashioned brawl down there on case.
Legislative ball.
Yeah, down there at the Capitol. Let's get out some gloves, and we'll put it on pay-per-view, and all the proceeds will go to funding schools, and we'll just beat the snot out of one another, and that'll be
work on the deficit.
Apparently, it's not working in Greece. It probably won't work here either, but it'd be fun to watch. Maybe I know that one was pretty ugly. I didn't know if anybody saw that, but I was speaking of Spain. I caught this. I was driving around one day and caught this comment, so I went and dug it out. So right now, you've got Spain and Greece, who both have their own financial issues, and a lot of it has to do with benefits to citizens or employees. You know, they have more ongoing expense than they do income, so that's a problem. So they
need more time off in the summer too.
They do, yeah. They're going to Germany for help, and so this is what I had heard on the radio there. So I went out and dug it out. So the irony here is that the average person in Greece retires at age 59 and a half, and in Spain they just moved it up to 65. And the country they're going for a bailout for mandates that their employees now work till 67. So you got the people in Greece working to 59 and a half, asking for the people in Germany that have to work to 67 to send them more money to bail them out. I think that's fascinating. I don't know if that's a successful solution to financing your problems, but you could see the people in Germany finally deciding to do this, and that's the international salute for "I'm not helping you anymore." Yes. And I think that there's going to be some dramatic. Well, there's already dramatic changes there. I saw one picture in the paper this morning of just the trash pile up in Greece. I mean, it's like becoming like a mountain now, because people say, "Oh, I'm not going to work, not getting paid. I'm not going to work." If you're 59 and a half, you want the guys in Germany at 67 to keep sending you money. So there's more to come of that story. Lots more to come of that story. And this, I'll bring this up here because this was This was a gaffe. I can be harsh on the president, and but he stuck his foot in his mouth yesterday. Speaking of jobs and public employees and whatnot, but he said this was during a speech on. I think he was actually talking about something entirely different. He was talking on the euro, and he mentioned that this is the president of the United States. The private sector is doing fine. We're seeing weakness in our economy having to do with state and local government employees, and which he said is not getting enough support from Washington. So this was a speech from the president yesterday, that was a slip. And the Republicans made a big deal out of it, saying, well, what are you talking about? You're living in fantasy land. We have plenty of jobs in the private economy and not enough in government. Are you kidding me? And I think it was. I don't know if he really believes that or not. So I'm going to give him. When you talk enough all the time, you're going to say something stupid and something slips out. So I'm going to give him. But I think where I think he might have been onto something, where he was right and wrong at the same time, was that corporate profits and business profits are very good right now. Companies are making good money, lots of money. In fact, there is $2 trillion with a T. I don't even know how much that is. I don't know how many zeros that is. That's a lot. There's $2 trillion in cash sitting in corporate bank accounts right now doing nothing. So, from one aspect, the president's right. Companies are doing pretty well, but they're not hiring anybody. As a rule, and they're not hiring because they don't know what the rules are going to be, and I think that's the quagmire that we're in. It's like, okay, I've got all this cash and I want to do things, but I don't know what healthcare is going to be. And the Bush tax cuts are ending at the end of the year. I don't know what that means for people. So what do you do when you're not sure what's going to happen in your future? You pull your reins in and you sit on your cash, if you have any, if you're lucky. And so on one hand, I agree with the president. Things are getting better on some levels. On the other hand, I disagree with him that it's not trickling down to hiring, and I don't think it means we don't have enough city and county and state and federal employees.
Well, and that's the big thing we need right now is jobs. So as all these companies sit there and hold.
So for those of you who always say I always ripping on the president, that is not true. I could rip on him for that comment. I think he just made it. I think he just slipped. I don't think he believes that, and I think in some parts of it he was right. I did see that we are cutting off critical aid to Pakistan. So we are going to save some money in the United States of America. We are stopping funding for a $20 million project in Pakistan. That's $20 million back in our pockets, folks. And what were we funding? What critical program is going to be left out? Is it drones? Is it boots on the ground? Is it food? Anybody? We are ending the Pakistani version of Sesame Street. $20 million we were funding for the Pakistani version of Sesame Street, and that is coming to an end.
True story?
That is a true story. And there's a picture right there with the Pakistani Sesame Street doll. The organization in question, the Rafi Peer Theater Workshop, a group based in the city of Lahore, 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 jointly developed the show with Sesame Street Workshop creators, is coming to an end because they feel there was fraud and deception. So our $20 million was not trickling down to all the puppets. It was trickling down to people's pockets. There we go. So I don't know if you're going to sleep better than I am.
Absolutely.
That's $20 million in our pocket, and the Sesame Street Pakistani version will no longer. Nope, no Sesame Street for you. So that'll be it there. So that's the big news on our budget cuts. We're on the right track there, I think.
That's a start.
Speaking of, we might as well just get all the obscure stuff out of the way. How are we doing on time there, Chris? You know what I was going to do? We talked about the cigarette thing, John. I was going to throw that out as one of the quiz question before the break there. So 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. This is our quiz question, speaking of cigarettes and taxes.
Right. So based on Proposition 29 in the state of California, we're looking at an proposed increase on taxes on a pack of cigarettes, which is already very expensive. I don't even know how much, but from 87 cents to $1.87.
That was the proposal that was 20.
That's the proposal, right?
All right.
And the quiz question is, what state is the highest tax?
Okay.
Or the lowest tax? Which state in the United States?
Either end of the spectrum.
Either end of the spectrum.
So what is the low tax? Well, again,
17 cents.
Wow.
Yeah. You could smoke a lot there.
Yeah, no kidding. And what's the high tax?
$4.35. That's just a tax.
That's just the tax. I don't know how much are cigarettes. I don't know. But if you're talking $4 in taxes, you got to be talking what, $6, $7, $8 in a pack?
Yeah, absolutely, I would think.
Man, if you didn't have incentive to stop there, that would start you. So which state, either end of the spectrum, 339-1140, we'll give a winner for both. I've got your choice. I give a 4-pack of tickets to the River Cats, or I've got our Mix It Up one-day rental of the beverage machine, like the slushy margarita machine. You know, that sounds really good right now. So if you want to do that instead, we've got one of those for the Mix It Up free one-day beverage machine rental. It Mix It Up, thanks to Brian there and the folks at Mix It Up, which consists of a free frozen beverage machine rental and one-day use and delivery, and they'll also come up with some cups and some flavors for you too. So your choice, you want either of those. So we already got one winner on the high end of things. So the low end might be tough. So we'll let that hang out there for a little bit. Your choice either way, 339-1140, or you can text us at 441140. So I already have a winner for the high end. The high end was what?
New York City. So you can't get a big gulp. Actually, you can get a big gulp. You can't get a drive-through big soda over 16 ounces. Correct.
But you can get a pack of cigarettes for $65. If anybody knows, by the way, and if you happen to know this, what is the cost of a pack of cigarettes in New York City? And you can text me at 441140 if you happen to know that. I got to think it's $7 or $8. I mean, that would put a carton, and this is, I mean, this. I have no idea how many come in a carton, but I think there's is there 10 packs in a carton maybe?
I think 10 packs, and there's.
So you're talking $100 for a box of cigarettes? Wow.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I
need a calculator to do that.
Well, you're out of fingers. We'll have to start We'll start doing some bootlegging cigarette there on the border. We'll come across we'll swim up, we'll scuba dive up and hand them to people with the no tags on it. So 339-1140 if you know the answer to so we're on the low end now at 17 cents a pack.
Right.
That's what we'll do. We'll run some cigarettes from that state to New York. We'll be loaded if we're not arrested, and we'll bring these big giant pottery pots too that cost 150 pounds a piece.
From Vietnam.
We'll bring those. Yeah, we'll do cigarettes and pottery stuff. We'll be rich.
And big gulps.
And big gulps. If you buy a pack of cigarettes, you get a free big gulp with it. You buy a pack of cigarettes at $8 a pop. We could probably do that. Speaking of big gulps, this is going to cause total panic in my house. There are fewer grapes in the state of California right now, and more drinkers. And after a decade of cutting acreage, California growers are running out of wine grapes, and this is going to cause a total panic in my neighborhood. I'm sure of it. So this is interesting because California's wine industry, which for a decade was just had so many grapes, the price just went down. You know, I'm not sure everybody saw that Sideways movie, or they all want to do their own vineyards or what. But grape production for quite a while in California was the point where you could hardly make a profit. There was just so many grapes.
Yeah, and all the heydays of like $2 Chuck and all that stuff came out.
You got a winner for the lowest too. Wow, the internet must be working great. What was the answer to the winner?
The great state of Missouri.
Missouri, 17 cents. New York, 40. We got to take a break? We just got started. Okay, we'll come back to this. I'm going to talk about wine in California. If you're a wine drinker, if you're a wine vineyard owner.
If you're just waking up from drinking too much wine last night.
We'll cover all that too. We got a whole bunch of mortgage-related stuff too. And we'll take your calls and questions, 339-1140. You can text us at 441140. This is Talkin Money. I'll be right
back, Jack.